Hello and welcome, friends. Welcome to your February 2022 reading with me, Intuitive Rene. I hope 2022 is treating you well so far. I sort of skipped the January readings because life, but I'm hoping that I'm back on track and we will have the videos coming up for you on a regular basis. So these month ahead readings are released or should be released the Friday before the end of the month, or should we say Friday before the new month. So that's why these videos are now being released in time for the 1st of February, so that you have a little bit of time to watch the video, to watch the reading, to absorb the information, and be prepared for what the month ahead has in store for you. So there are individual readings for each sign of the zodiac. The process of the reading is done exactly the same for all 12, but obviously the context and the information that comes through will be different for each of the 12 readings. You can watch, the main one that you need to watch is for your sun sign, which is the zodiac that you all know. When people say, oh, what star sign are you? Whatever your answer is to that based on your date of birth, it's where it's where the sun was at the time of your birth, and that is your sun sign. And the zodiacs, these readings that I'm doing, are really based on your sun sign. If you know your moon sign, if you know your rising sign, you are more than welcome to watch those videos as well, to understand yourself a bit better as far as your personality and your emotions and all of those other things. I don't want to go into a whole astrology lesson for you now, but you absolutely can watch those videos to get a little bit more insight into you. I have changed the format of these month ahead readings. So I'm using quite a few cards, and I'm hoping that it's going to give you detailed information to guide you through the month. I would also advise, obviously, watch it now before the month starts, and then do come back and watch it during the month. Maybe set a reminder on your phone to come back sort of halfway through the month, or 10 days in and then 20 days in, and so on. If or any time that you are experiencing a challenge or a problem, or you're not sure which way to go or what's going on. So the video is available to you all the time. You could also even come back to it in March and look at it again and do a bit of an analysis of what was said was going to take place and what actually did. So it could be quite interesting to look at it retrospectively as well. So as I said, there is a video for each sign of the zodiac. Everybody's getting this intro message. It just saves me repeating myself 12 times and that type of thing. So we're now going to go straight into your particular reading, and I do hope you enjoy. At this point, I do want to ask, if you haven't already done, please do consider subscribing to my channel and giving this video a like and a comment. Just lets YouTube know that you've enjoyed it, and it'll help my channel grow and reach more people. So the more people engage and interact with my videos, the more YouTube goes, okay, let's show this to more people, and then that way we actually spread the word a little bit. So as a way of showing appreciation and gratitude for what I do for you as a free service, please do consider a thumbs up, a comment, and if you haven't already done so, please do hit the subscribe. And yeah, let's get into your particular reading. Right, Cancerians, let's get into your reading and let's see what February 2022 has in store for you. I have got two decks on the table here with me. This is going to be the one that gives us our theme for the month ahead. And this is the Sacred Destiny Oracle by Denise Lynn. The tarot deck that I'm working with this month is the Dark Mansions Tarot. So let's shuffle and let's see what is the theme for all Cancerians for February 2022. And let's pick a card. I'm going to go for that one over there. All right, so Cancerians, let's have a look and see what is your theme for the month ahead. Courage. Oh, I like it. Oh, I love the artwork on these cards. I look at this particular image and the colors. We've got the rainbow colors and the clouds above, but then there seems to be this kind of map in the background. And then we've got this beautiful ocean and the waves crashing up against the rocks. And the key word is courage. So what I get from this for you Cancerians is that February is going to be a month where you're going to have to stand strong. You're going to have to be that rock, and as the waves are crashing and as the waves are as things are unfolding around you, you're going to have to stay strong, brave, bold, courageous. regardless of how beautiful or how scary the situation may be. So we're going to see, obviously, as we get more detail, we're going to see what that courage actually means. Let me just make some space. I'm going to leave courage there for the month, for the month, listen to me, for the reading. And let's get into the rest of it. So courage, just while I'm shuffling this particular deck, just to elaborate a little bit more on courage, you know, sometimes in life it can be quite difficult to, you know, when you know that there's a difficult time coming up, when you know that, you know, the tides are coming in and you're going to be, you know, you're going to be hit by all the waves and things like that. It can be quite scary to just stand there and to not do anything. But I also think being brave and being confident, when you know what your strengths are, it gives you the courage to deal with whatever you have to. But when you don't know your strengths, when you don't know your own abilities, that's when it makes things really difficult. And I'm wondering and I'm hoping that through this particular reading, Spirit are going to give us insight to your talents, your skills, and your abilities, so that you can be brave and that you can be courageous and that you can be confident in yourself as you navigate and face the month ahead. All right, so I have shuffled the deck. I am going to cut it over there. And I'm now just going to lay out all the cards that we're going to be working with. And once all the cards are laid out, I will then do the reading and give you my insight into what is going on. So I'm not going to give you too much insight or anything until I've got all the cards laid out. We're doing 10 cards this month, which is a lot. But that's because more is better sometimes. You know, just having more insight and having more information and having more clarity, especially when our theme is courage and when we need to be courageous and brave. Sorry, I just want to move these over. This particular deck has got the most amazing, what we call rose petal feel to the cards itself, but that means that they have quite a lot of texture and they, you know, to move them on my reading cloth isn't always easy. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we've got. I just want to get a kind of overall view of where we're at. It's very interesting across the bottom here. Okay, so courage is our theme, Cancerians, for the month of February. And as we come into the month, the energy that we're coming into the month is the energy of temperance. So temperance, you can see immediately the colors are gentle, the image is gentle, the scenery is gentle. There's such a subtleness to this particular card. So she has her wings, she's able to fly, she's kneeling on the dock, she's even got one foot sort of, you know, floating in the water there. And look what she's doing. She's sharing, she's giving, she's nurturing, she's taking care of. She recognizes what needs to be done and she recognizes her abilities and, you know, what she's capable of, and she's putting the energy into sharing. There's water all around, okay, so there's no shortage of water, but yet she's still making offering and from her own space. Temperance is the card of finding balance, but finding balance in all things. You know, even though there's, have you ever heard that saying? It's suddenly so loud in my head: water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. And that's what I get when I look at this particular temperance card. And I think, and isn't it funny how we've got water happening there too? And obviously, Cancerians, your zodiac sign is the element of crab, which is again water based. So, yeah. And we know the Cancerians, you know, Cancerians are emotional people, and water is always the symbol of emotion. So, yeah, lots of synchronicities taking place right here in your reading. Okay, so Cancerian's Temperance card is the card of balance. It's the card of finding your feet, knowing your abilities, knowing what you can do and what you can't do. We have to be strong, we have to be brave, we have to be courageous. You are very giving people. You're always giving to others. You're always nurturing others and taking care of others and being mindful of other people. And I think that the message coming through here is, while you're doing that, while you're nurturing and taking care and giving to others, please don't neglect the self. Always make sure that you fill up your own jug first before you offer to anybody else. So that is saying to you, as we come into and as the month of February starts, this is something that we need to be very mindful and aware of. And it's having the courage to actually fill up your own jug first. Because again, I know that's not typical for you and the way that you live your life. You're always giving first and then thinking about yourself. But it is saying that we need to turn that. We need to turn the tables, and we need to understand that we need to fill our own jugs first. The challenge that we have, though, Cancerians, is this Five of Pentacles. So here we have, I'm going to call them a father and daughter. I don't know what their relationship is, but we have an older man and we have a younger person, and they are standing outside of a church, or what looks like a church. It is snowing. I mean, there is snow everywhere. It is bitterly cold. And he's injured, okay? He's walking on crutches and she's got a little blanket around her. You can see by the expressions on their faces, they're not happy. They don't want to be there. It's about being out in the cold. And the challenge for you, for all my Cancerians in the month of February, we know we need to focus on balance. We know we need to look after ourselves before we take care of other people. But the problem is that we're always so afraid of being excluded. We're always so afraid of not being able to, or being on the outside. And I think it's also about asking for help when help is needed. Because in this particular case, the church is right there. You know, there are people, there is warmth, there is probably a cup of tea, and there's probably, you know, a warm blanket, and all of these kind of things that could help them ease their troubles. But they're saying, no, we can do this on our own. We need to figure this out on our own. And they're being a little bit stubborn. So they need to have the courage and the confidence to actually say, you know what, let's ask for help. Let's accept some help. Let's not leave ourselves out in the bitter cold when there is warmth so close. Okay, so the courage needed here, Cancerians, is to recognize the restrictions and the limitations that you may have. We know your heart is in the right place. We know your head is in the right place. We know you want to do the right thing. We know that you're a good person, but it's having the courage and the confidence to admit when things are a little bit out of your control and when you need help from another person. So that is the challenge that February brings, knowing when to ask, having the courage, to actually say, can somebody help me? Can somebody guide us? And can somebody help us find a way in, out of the cold? Okay. You know, it's quite interesting because this Nine of Cups, I mean, he's appeared in quite a few of my February readings, and he's so full of confidence. He's so full of himself. You know, he sits in his big red chair, drinking, you know, the finest of the fine, smoking what I assume is a really good cigar, and he's got all his achievements displayed here behind him. He's got lots of knowledge, he's got lots of books and lots of treasures. You know, he's got everything that he wants in life. He's feeling super confident. He's feeling super like everything is fabulous. But the truth of the matter is, there's only one glass. He's on his own. And he's convinced himself that he's okay on his own. He's convinced himself that he doesn't need anybody else. What I want to say to you around this, you know, the undercurrent right here for you is about being independent. And I really want to say to you, Cancerians, it's about having the courage to not feel like you have to tackle everything on your own. Having the courage to recognize when you're out of your depth, okay? When you're out of your depth and when you no longer have whatever it is that you need to bring happiness into your world. Remember with this Temperance card, there's a gentleness about this, but there's also a power. There's also a strength in taking care of yourself, and then with what's left, offering, helping, guiding, and assisting other people. Okay. This is the one that's really drawing me in here. So Cancerians, what we've got over here is the card of justice. So you can see that she is somebody who means business. She is super confident in the law, in the rules, in the strategy, in what's right and wrong. You know, there's no gray areas with her. She understands the difference between right and wrong, and she can rule with closed eyes. She can make her decision with her eyes closed because she trusts in herself, in her knowledge, and in her understanding. She is courage, okay? She looks at facts and figures. She doesn't allow emotions to cloud her judgment. Everything we're doing here is based on emotions. So Cancerians, this is Spirit saying to you during the month of February, you need to remove emotion. You need to remove the feelings. You need to have the courage to tackle things from a logical, systematic, practical point of view and not do things from a place of emotion, because it's those emotions that are keeping you out in the cold. If you want to move forward, you've got to recognize that it's time to be honest, it's time to be practical, logical, and to remove the emotions that you have and the feelings that you have around other people. And that's again where this courage comes from. So February is going to have many opportunities for you to test that, to test those waters and to test those theories and to make decisions based on facts and figures and logic and not based on feelings. Okay, this is now the support that's available to you. And I love this. I love this. We have got, what is depicted as the perfect happy family, okay? And I mean, I know family is a relative term and it's different for everybody, but in this particular scenario, we have got the daddy, the mommy, little girl, little boy, puppy dog, having a picnic, living their best life. They dressed in the best way. I mean, they've got gorgeous, scrumptious cake and everything is fabulous. It's about that perfect, that moment that we all strive for in life, where suddenly you look at your life, you look at your surroundings, you look at everything around you, go, oh, life is good. Life is good. Right this second, right this moment, life is fabulous. And this is what we're working towards. And this is what you're working towards. But you have to have the courage to make some tough decisions and to take care of yourself and to put everybody else's needs, wants, and desires aside so that you can have that perfect happy home life that you want, that you deserve, and that you're working towards. So the support that's available to you, Cancerians, is supportive family. So recognizing that family is what makes you happy, being connected with your people, surrounded by your people, unconditional love and acceptance is the thing that matters most. And that is the support that's available to you. And you can have it. You don't have to be out in the cold, but it is time to make some decisions based on facts and logic and not necessarily based on feelings. Courage to do so. All right, and where we're moving towards, I love this. So look how gorgeous she is, first of all. So this is our Queen of Cups. So she's wearing her best jewelry. She's got her crown, she's got necklaces, earrings. She really is, I mean, she's even got pearls all over her beautiful dress. Everything is good, and she's drinking from the good stuff. Okay, she's enjoying the good stuff. She has made sure that she's poured into her own jug so that she can appreciate and enjoy it. But in order for you to get there, Cancerians, in order for you to experience the good life and to sit confidently and comfortably saying, you know what, I have everything my heart desires in front of me, we have to make some tough decisions. To me, this is the important thing here. These three cards over here, Cancerians, are the ones that matter the most in your overall reading. And it's having the courage and the confidence to say, I have to take care of myself first. I have to stop giving and giving and giving, because it's not getting me anywhere. It's not getting me anywhere. So February is going to be about you balancing, bringing that balance back into your life. Balance around what you give, what you receive, what you hold on to, and what is available. But it's also about recognizing that sometimes we have to put our pride in our pocket, isn't it? And the courage to do so. So very interesting indeed. All right, so Cancerians, moving down the bottom here, we have the Two of Wands. Can you see how she's walking this tightrope? I mean, just look at that tiny, tiny, tiny little rope that she's trying to navigate, that she's trying to cross. She's putting on a brave face. She's putting on an amazing performance, okay? So she is in the circus tent and she's putting on an amazing performance and she's balancing on the tiniest of rope. I would be very concerned if I look at how it's tied. There's no safety net as well. And it is about the decisions that you have to make. Basically, the message of this particular card in this position, this is Spirit saying to you, Cancerians, that people recognize the fine line, but people don't care. Okay? People in your life, they're taking advantage of you. They're expecting you to perform the miracles. They're expecting you to be brave and courageous. They're expecting you to walk the tightrope. Nobody's there. There's no support, okay? There's nobody around you helping you, ready to catch you if you fall. You're out there on your own. And people can see that, and people are taking advantage of that. So if this is something that you've chosen to do, then that's great. Then that's absolutely fabulous. But before you start walking any tightropes in February, please stop and say, whose benefit? Who am I doing this for? Am I doing this for myself? Am I doing this because it's what I need to do, because I need to prove it to myself? Or am I doing it as a show and entertainment for other people? And if it's for show and entertainment, stop. Okay? Be brave, be courageous, and stop. Don't let your activities be somebody else's entertainment. That's not what it's about. It's about truth, honesty, integrity, and it's about having the courage to stand up for yourself and to not walk any tightropes that other people expect you to, unless, of course, it's what you've chosen. If it's your choice and if it's your decision, then that's fabulous. But check. Ask yourself over and over and again, who am I doing this for? Am I doing this to take care of myself, or am I doing this to take care and to please and to put a smile on somebody else's face? And if that's the reason, stop what you're doing instantly. Instantly. All right, Cancerians, what we're moving into now, this is the what's going on externally. Okay, so this is what's going on externally, and this is what's going on internally. So internally, you're like charging ahead. You're like, you know what, I'm no time for thinking, no time for strategy, let's just get on and do this. Knight of Swords, I mean, if you look at it, even that horse looks quite panicked about the whole scenario. You know, even the horse is like going, what? And he's got this kind of mischievous, evil kind of look on his face, and he's just saying, you know what, don't worry about it, it's going to be okay, we'll figure it out. So I do think what's going on here, externally, be very aware of people's motives, be very aware of why you're doing the things you're doing. Internally, you need to be cautious and careful and courageous enough to say, maybe we're rushing into something. Maybe I'm doing it for all the wrong reasons, and it's about finding that balance. Okay? You know, these two worlds are so different. Outside in the cold, inside warm, smug, content, you know, fabulous life, hard life, fabulous life. They are poles apart. They are so opposite, but actually they're right next to each other. And Spirit is saying to you, Cancerians, you know, that you've got to choose. Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself? Don't make the decision based on emotions. Make it based on facts and logic. Ask yourself, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Be brave enough to face the truth. Be brave enough to ask those tough questions. And if you can do that, you're going to find yourself being in that place of contentment, having that perfect experience, that perfect life. But you cannot have it both ways. Okay? You cannot have it both ways. The truth is, what you're looking to be is somewhere in the middle there, isn't it? I think so. Okay, so Cancerians, we're on to this card over here, and this is the card of where you see yourself and what you're hoping for and what you're working towards. Page of Swords. Now, Page of Swords, for me, I always see the Page of Swords as learning, you know, gaining information, gaining inspiration, information, inspiration, understanding, not only about yourself, but about your external environment. So if we look behind him, so he's standing here and he's got a kind of confidence about him. But if we look at the environment behind him in the background, you know, it looks a bit barren. There seems to be a bit of a storm brewing. I mean, just look at those trees. They're sort of even falling over. We've got a river flowing, but the two sides of the river seem so different. Colors. It looks like everything's green and lush on this side, but dark and barren and windy and stormy on the other side. And you've got to make decisions. You've got to learn about the pros and the cons of both and where you see yourself fitting in. And February is going to be very much about that. It's very much about understanding what you put in versus what you get out, where you choose to be, who is with you, and what is actually important. So, as much as you want to be confident and successful and happy and content, you've also got to realize that there's still learning that needs to take place. And you've got to, again, you've got to be brave and confident enough to let the waters chip away a little bit so that you eventually become the perfect shape, the perfect size, the perfect whatever. But you've got to be brave enough to face those storms, to face those lessons, to face those learnings so that you can ultimately be content and happy in the way that you want without too much overconfidence and without entertaining everybody else around you. All right, so Cancerians, onto our last card, and this is what you're moving towards. So this is what February is taking you towards. Now, we had another night on a horse over here, and that one was like a little bit manic, a little bit chaos. It was a little bit like we're just charging ahead. Now suddenly look at what we've got. He has been very strategic in his movements, in his actions, and in the steps that he's taken. He's now reached a cliff point, and he's standing up and he can see as far as he needs to. And he's now surveying the land to see any opportunities or any dangers or anything, what's lying ahead. So it's almost like he's saying, okay, let's stop for a second. Let's reevaluate our circumstance. Let's reevaluate where we are, and then we can make a better decision as to where we want to go to. So the Knight of Pentacles is telling you, Cancerians, that we've got to make sure that we're not being overly emotional in the month of April. Oh gosh, where am I going? Oh, forgive me, February. Okay, we need to make sure that we're not being overly ambitious, that we're not being overly cautious even, but we need to make sure that we are being very bold and very courageous and very brave in our steps, in our actions. And if we can do that, if we can get through the month of February, I'll get the right month. If we can get through the month of February with making some tough decisions and about asking some tough questions and having the courage to be honest with ourselves, to face the truth, if we can do that, we're going to find ourselves coming out of this month feeling a lot more confident, feeling a lot stronger, and feeling like we actually have better purpose. So, Cancerians, it looks like February is going to be a very interesting month. Lots of lessons, lots of learning, lots of opportunities where you have to ask yourself some tough questions and try and find a happy ground between what you, the kind of, I'm going to call it the fantasy life that you are living and the reality that you want. Okay. So I do hope that this helps you. I do hope that this reading gives you the encouragement, the motivation, and the guidance that you need to navigate everything that's coming through in the month of February. Remember, take care of yourself first. Put you first. It's about taking care of you. It's about filling your own vase first, filling your own jug first before you worry about anybody else. And if you can do that, you're going to come out of it much better, stronger, more brave, and more courageous. All right, Cancerians, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care.